If you need to score a 9 out of 9 on IELTS reading but have no idea how to do it, please continue watching this video. Most students in my one-on-one classes say they find the reading section extremely challenging. In fact, at the moment, about 60% of the students I help prepare for the IELTS want to focus on this particular part of the test. And when we start working on this section, I see that they all make exactly the same mistake. That's one of the reasons I love my one-on-one sessions so much. They allow me to really understand what problems the majority of students have in each section. Well, what I can tell you is that the IELTS reading section is not as difficult as it seems. You need to know some academic vocabulary. And yes, you should know the question types and strategies for them. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is how well you can use all these skills under time pressure. Most of the people I'm teaching right now come to me and say, "Oh, I've taken 2 or 3 IELTS prep courses. I know the strategy for each type of question, but I can't score high enough or consistently get the score I need." This is usually because they haven't really worked on automating their skills so that they become second nature. The point is that even when you're under time pressure, or anxious, or sick, your brain does the work for you and leads you to the right answer in the most straightforward and easy way. So when you practice, it's not just about practicing a lot. It's about being able to analyze your performance and find out what you did wrong and how you could have gotten to the right answer faster and easier. That's why in today's lesson, we're going to break down another part of the reading section and learn how to avoid blanking out and losing points. The IELTS reading passage we're going to go through is from Cambridge Prep Book 18. I've already made 2 similar videos analyzing other parts of the reading test, so if you haven't watched them yet, feel free to do so for more practice. As always, the first thing we want to do is to read the title and the lead, which will give us an idea of what the text will cover. The title is Forest Management in Pennsylvania, USA. The lead says, how managing low-quality wood, also known as low-use wood, for bioenergy can encourage sustainable forest management. This means that the passage is about managing or controlling forests and encouraging or promoting sustainable forest management. By the way, sustainable is the word you'll often see in the IELTS reading passages. It's something that is able to be maintained at a certain rate or level for a long time. Now, let's look at the questions. As I always say, some students prefer to read the text first to get a better understanding of it. Feel free to do so if you're a fast reader. If you're not, it's better to look at the questions first. The types of questions in this part of the reading section are matching paragraph information, matching features, and sentence completion. We'll start with the matching paragraph information question type, which covers the first 5 questions. It asks you to match the information with the paragraphs. On test day, you can do this type of question last, because the more you know about the passage, the better. We'll do it first now for extra practice. The first thing you want to do for this type of question is analyze what information you'll be matching. It's important to do this before turning to the text, so that you know what to look for as you read it. If you start reading the text immediately without analyzing the answer options, especially if your level is not super advanced, you'll immediately be bombarded with tons of unfamiliar words and difficult concepts. You'll waste time trying to understand it all. So instead, look at the information you need to match first. Try to predict what kind of paragraph it will be in, and figure out the main idea of the statements, as well as find keywords and phrases that will help you locate the right part of the paragraph. That way, when you start skimming the text, you'll already have a good idea of what you need to find. Let's take a look. Question 14. Bad outcomes for a forest when people focus only on its financial reward. The paragraph containing this information should mention bad outcomes or negative consequences or results for a forest when people only think about money or financial reward. So we need to find information about bad things that can happen to a forest when people think only about money. Remember to always simplify each statement. That way, you'll find it easier to match. Here are some synonyms and paraphrases. Outcomes, results, consequences, focus, prioritize, concentrate. only, solely. Again, I'm not saying you'll find all these words in the paragraph. Most likely, many of them will be completely changed. But it's nice to think about some possible options in advance. Also, this paragraph will most likely not be the first, as this information is quite specific. Remember that information in any text goes from being more general to being more detailed. So I don't expect to find this information in the first paragraph. 15. Reference to the aspects of any tree that contribute to its worth. We're looking for a mention of the aspects of a tree that make it worthy or valuable. An aspect is a feature, a factor, or a characteristic. Worth equals value. This information seems rather general, so we might expect to see it in one of the first paragraphs. 16. Mention of the potential use of wood to help run vehicles. Here, we're talking about the potential or possible or likely use of wood to help run vehicles. A vehicle is something used to transport goods, such as a car, a lorry, or a cart. In most cases in IELTS, the closest synonyms for vehicles are cars or means of transport. 17. Examples of insects that attack trees. This information will most likely come a little later in the text. It mentions examples, which makes it pretty specific. We should find examples of insects, and not just any insects, but the insects that attack trees. A good word to know that has a similar meaning is pests. Pests are insects that are harmful to crops, food, or trees. Finally, question 18. An alternative name for trees that produce low-use wood. For this question, we're looking for a name. Since it's an alternative name, you'll most likely see phrases such as is, are, also called, is, are, also commonly referred to as, and so on. With all this in mind, I begin to read the first paragraph, keeping in mind the keywords, main ideas of the statement, and possible paraphrases. The first sentence reads, a tree's value depends on several factors, including its species, size, form, condition, quality, functions, and accessibility. The words value and factors immediately catch my attention, and when I compare the first sentence with statement 15, I realize that I have my first match. Question 15, paragraph A. I keep skimming the text, and I spot the word solely in paragraph B. The paragraph says, in the past, landowners were solely interested in the value of their trees as high-quality timber. Timber is a word that you'll often see in IELTS reading passages. It means wood prepared for use in building. The norm was to remove the stems and leave behind poorly formed trees that were not well suited to the site where they grew. We then see that this practice has left a legacy of low-use wood in the forests, and some people even began calling these trees junk trees, and so on. All this looks like an example of bad outcomes or consequences for the forest, because landowners were only interested in the value of their trees or financial reward. So we've got another match. Question 14, paragraph B. Again, as you can see, once you know what you're looking for, finding the right information is a piece of cake. By the way, I've just read that some people even call these junk trees. So, that's an alternative name. Let's read this part again carefully. The sentence says, this practice, called high grading, has left a legacy of low-use wood in the forests. And some people call these trees junk trees, which means that junk trees is an alternative name for these trees, which is why question 18 also matches the information in paragraph B. We're almost done. I keep skimming the text, and in paragraph C, I come across this sentence. Wood can also be gasified for electrical generation and can even be made into liquid fuels, for lorries and cars. Lorries and cars. Remember how we just discussed that a vehicle is a thing used to transport goods, such as a car, a lorry, or a cart. So, lorries and cars are a paraphrase of the word vehicles. This sentence shows how wood can help run vehicles by being turned into liquid fuels, which is why paragraph C contains information from question 16. The phrase can also be gasified shows that this is the potential use. Finally, question 17 is the only one left. I now need to find a paragraph about insects. Obviously, it's not D, because it focuses on trees and plants, not insects. Paragraph E, however, looks like the right choice. It has the word pest in it, with many pests and pathogens visiting forests, including 10, and then lists the names of various pests. We're given examples of such insects, which is why 17 is E. By the way, a pathogen is any organism that can cause disease in humans, animals, or plants. So the correct answers for this task are 14, B, 15, A, 16, C, 17, E, 18, B. Great! Let's move on to the next set of questions, the matching features question type. Here you have 3 purposes that you need to match with 3 types of timber cuts. As you already know, timber is large pieces of wood used for construction. If you want to build a house or a boat, you'll need timber. For this type of question, I'm going to go through the purposes, identify keywords, and think of possible synonyms. Then, I'll find all the mentions of the timber cuts in the text and check which purpose refers to which cut. 19. To remove trees that are diseased. The keywords are remove, diseased, trees. Remove, cut down, eliminate, reduce the number of. Diseased, sick. 20. To generate income across a number of years. The keywords are generate, income, a number of, years. Generate income, make money, a number of, many, a lot of. 21. To create a forest whose trees are close in age. The keywords are forest, trees, close in age. Close in age, similar age. Now, let's find the parts of the text that describe each timber cut. These are paragraphs D, E, and F. Let's go through paragraph D, which is about a TSI cut. As I read, I can't find any of the keywords, synonyms, or ideas we've just discussed. But don't get discouraged. According to the instructions, we can use each letter more than once, which means that 2 purposes can belong to the same cut. In paragraph E, which is about a salvage cut, I see the phrase sick trees. These types of cut reduce the number of sick trees and seek to manage the future spread of a pest problem. Reduce the number of is a paraphrase of remove. 19 is B, a salvage cut. Paragraph F, the one about a shelter wood cut, is the only one left. So if you're pressed for time, you can write C next to questions 20 and 21 straight away. But if you have time, it's always better to double check. You may have missed some information in paragraph D. While reading paragraph F, I come across the word similar. It pleased a young forest where all trees are at a similar point in their growth. That's information from question 21, which mentioned creating a forest where trees are close in age. Notice how the phrase are close in age is paraphrased in this sentence. They say, are at a similar point in their growth. Finally, I noticed the word money in the last sentence. And the money that comes in is spread out over a decade or more. So it mentions generating income or making money across a number of years, over a decade or more. Remember that a decade is a period of 10 years. As a result, we get 19B, 20C, 21C. Now the final task is to choose one word from the passage to complete the given sentences. the sentence completion question type. The correct answer is only one word. So please keep that in mind. Now, many students panic when they see this question type because they think they have to search the entire passage for the right answers. This is not true. Sets of questions usually come in order. So, since this question type is the last one, the answers to it can be found at the end of the text. In this case, in the last paragraph, paragraph G. This makes the set of questions a lot easier. Since the questions themselves also come in order in this type of question, I suggest that we answer them one at a time. Don't forget to predict what kind of words you should be looking for in the paragraph. Question 22. Some dead wood is removed to avoid the possibility of blank. The missing word is a noun. Let's read the first sentence of the paragraph. Thinnings and dense and dead wood removal for fire prevention also center on the production of low-use wood. To avoid means the same as to prevent. Since fire prevention is mentioned in the text, it means that some dead wood is removed to avoid the possibility of fire. Fire is a noun, so it's the correct answer. Question 23. The blank from the tops of cut trees can help improve soil quality. The missing word is again a noun because it's preceded by an article. The second sentence of the paragraph says nothing about the tops of cut trees. So let's read the third sentence. The tops of trees that have been cut down should be left on the side so that their nutrients cycle back into the soil. The only thing that comes from the tops of trees is nutrients. So this is the correct answer. Question 24. Some damaged trees should be left as their blank provide habitats for a range of creatures. The missing word is again a noun because the word there precedes it. The next sentence from the text reads, in addition, trees with many cavities are extremely important habitats for insect predators like woodpeckers, bats, and small mammals. What are habitats for various creatures? Surely they are cavities. It is the only noun that fits the sentence in question 24. By the way, cavities in trees are nothing more than holes that look like this. Question 25. Some trees that are small, such as blank, are a source of food for animals and insects. The missing word is a noun. It should be the name of a tree. The next sentence in the paragraph doesn't mention small trees, but the two following it do. Let's read them. It's also important to remember that not all small trees are low use. For example, many species like hawthorn provide food for wildlife. Since we're looking for a tree name, hawthorn is the correct answer. Hawthorn is a small tree with thorns and red fruit, just like in the picture. Question 26. Any trees that are blank should be left to grow, as they add to the variety of species in the forest. The missing word is an adjective. Let's read the last sentence of the paragraph. Finally, rare species of trees in a forest should also stay behind, as they add to its structural diversity. There are two adjectives in this sentence, rare and structural, but only the word rare fits the sentence in question 26. In fact, rare trees should be left to grow, right? The answers to these questions are 22, fire, 23, nutrients, 24, cavities, 25, hawthorn, 26, rare. Well, this is the end of our practice task for today. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you found this lesson helpful and if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips and tricks on how to ace the IELTS test. And as always, remember that scoring high on the IELTS test is not an impossible feat. You can do it. See you all very soon. Bye.